Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're going to be talking about the Radenso HD Plus remote mount radar detector and the different ways that you can actually plug it in and run it. You can run it standalone, you can run it plugged into your ALP, you can run with 1 or 2 antennas, all this kind of stuff. So in this video we're going to be talking about what all the different options are, pricing, pros and cons, etc. So let's just go ahead and start from the top. The antenna itself retails for $499. Let's call it $500, right? For a single antenna like this. Now the standard standalone way to run it is with the Beltronics 975. This is kind of this really old, ancient, generic control module essentially that the antenna would plug into. This is another $200. So total for this setup here, you're looking at $699 for a standalone radar detector. This guy does the job just fine. You know, you can configure all the different settings, turn it on and off, mute the detector, all that kind of stuff. So it is just fine as a standalone unit. Not the prettiest thing, not the flashiest thing ever. You know, looks kind of like it was made in the same era as the V1 or something, but does the job just fine, no problem. So you've got this guy. Maybe the only thing that it's lacking is the GPS. It does not support a GPS antenna with the 975. You just plug it in here, it's got the power cable, plug it in, and you're good to go. Now, another option that you can do, and quite frankly, I think this may be a little bit better, for those of you guys who are running the ALP, the anti-laser priority, it's pretty much that and the Stinger. It's like one of the 2 best laser jammers currently available on the market, right? If you have an ALP, rather than having to spend the money for this guy and have 1 extra doodad in your car, you can actually plug this guy into your ALP and let the ALP function as the brains for your radar detector. This functionality is already available with the ST-IR Plus and the 9500 Ci, and now it also supports the Radenso HD Plus as well. So the idea behind doing that is you're going to want to buy the antenna, $500. Then you're going to need the radar GPS module. It's a little box that the detector plugs into, and then that box plugs into the ALP, so it sits in the middle, right? That box is going to be another $100. So you're looking at basically $600 to integrate it with your ALP. There's extra accessories that you can buy that I would probably recommend. Like for example, there's the GPS antenna. If you plug the GPS antenna into your ALP, you'll be able to get low speed muting, which is really nice. It'll help cut down on a lot of the false alerts that you get in the city, right? GPS antenna for the ALP is another $60. So I would recommend that. So if you get this guy, plus the radar GPS module, it's another $100, plus the GPS antenna, which is another $60, you're looking at, what was that, $500, $600, $660. Is that right? Yeah. So $660 as opposed to this guy, which is $699. So you're saving about $40, and you're getting effectively the same functionality, same performance, plus you're going to be getting the low speed muting with the GPS, which is really handy. So I think that's a pretty good combination. And if you're already running the ALP, that would probably be the way to go. It's a little bit cheaper, you get more functionality, and you get 1 less box in your car. So it's for that reason that I think the ALP is probably going to be a little bit better. Maybe the downside would be that with this guy you can pretty easily go in and you know, change all the settings and that kind of stuff. With the ALP you do all the configuration on the computer. You can actually load in 3 different sets of profiles. You do have to be running the Bluetooth module or the Hi-Fi module to do this, not just a standard control module. But assuming you have the Hi-Fi or the Bluetooth module, you can actually switch between 3 different profiles, and each profile can have different settings. So one profile could be for maybe super aggressive K-band filtering. Another profile could be for maybe more relaxed K-band filtering if you want better performance. So you can actually switch between different settings profiles on the fly like that, as opposed to this guy, you would actually go in and tweak the individual settings themselves. So you got a little different way about going about them. I actually use the 3 different profiles in my ALP. One's like a 4-second automatic JTK for just simple, easy to use performance, or somebody else is driving my car. The second mode is going to be killing my laser jammers entirely, put them into detection only. So if I see a cop ahead, shoots me with laser, I'm like, my jammers are already killed, right? So detection only mode. Or the third one might be unlimited jamming for testing purposes, if I want my jammers to jam until I manually press the button. So I use my 3 different profiles for the laser. It would be a little bit weird having it for radar, but you know, you can run it however you want. So that's kind of how I have it set up, because I'm not running it with my ALPs right now. But you could always change that, of course, to maybe have different settings for your radar detector. So with the ALP, I think it's probably a little bit better option. You're going to have more functionality with the GPS. Cost you a little bit less, and it's 1 less doodad in your car. So if you already have an ALP or you're looking at getting one, that I think would be the preferred way to go. Now, the third way of running this guy is going to be not with this Beltronics 975, but Radenso is going to be releasing their own control module, their own CPU effectively, that's going to be replacing the 975. That CPU plus a single antenna is going to retail for $8.99. So this combination is $6.99. With the new Redenso control module, it's $8.99. So an extra $200, right? So with that setup, the benefit of that is rather than using this guy, a couple things. It's going to support GPS. So you're going to be able to plug in a GPS antenna into the Redenso, and you're going to get all the same stuff as the Redenso Pro and the Redenso Pro SE. So you're going to get GPS lockouts. Awesome. You don't get that with the ALP, you don't get that with the 975, so you're going to be getting GPS lockouts, which is the main thing. Additionally, it's going to support not one but two antennas, so you'll be able to buy two of these guys, plug them in, one front and one rear, and you're going to get your directional information, your arrows, just like the V1 or the Stinger or the Max 360 or any of those detectors like that. You're going to be able to get two antennas, so you'll get directional information. To do that, they're going to give you a little bit of a discount on the second antenna. The first one's going to retail for $4.99. The second one's going to retail for $3.99, and that's going to be available once the new CPU is available sometime, I'm guessing later this year, sometime in the future, let's call it. I don't know exactly when, so I don't want to make up a time frame, you know? So that's going to be coming out in the future, is their next control module. So that'll be really nice. For those of you guys who want to go ahead and get the standalone version now, you can do that. Again, that'll be $6.99. They'll offer an option later on where you can actually upgrade to the new control module for a cost of $250. It's $50 more than if you were to buy it brand new, so an extra $50 to do the upgrade, but I think it'll be worth it once that comes out if you want to go ahead and get it with the 975 in the meantime. So basically the new control module is going to give you GPS lockouts and low speed muting, GPS stuff. It's going to give you the ability to do two antennas, and you'll also be able to, if you want, pair it directly with the ALP, whereas the 975, you can't do that. So kind of nice there. So that I think would be maybe the preferred setup, just because you get more features and lockouts and two antennas, and that's pretty cool, right? So that's pretty much the idea. You've got $500 for just the antenna. If you want to run it with the ALP, you'll need another $100 for the RG module, the radar GPS module, so you're looking at $600. To run it standalone with the 975, you're looking at $700, and then with the new control module, it'll be $900. If you want the new control module with the dual antennas, that'll be $900 plus $400, so you're looking at $1,300, right? Which, incidentally, is the same price as an STIR Plus, right? $1,300 is the retail price for a Plus. This guy with two antennas is going to be the same price as an STIR Plus with a single antenna, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about now the comparison with a with the STIR Plus, the 9500 Ci, and the Redenso HT Plus, because I think that's going to be one of the main direct competitors at this point, right? So you can actually integrate an STIR Plus or a 9500 Ci with your ALP, and it's actually a little bit cheaper to do than the Redenso HT Plus. This guy's going to be $500. Okay, to get the RG module for the ALP, so you can integrate the two, is another $100. So you're looking at $600 to do this guy into your ALP, so $600. If you want to buy just the STIR Plus head, you can buy that with the RG module. They sell it as a package kit, and that's going to retail for $500, so $100 less than this guy. If you want to get it with the 9500 Ci head, that'll be $550, so $50 less than this guy. How does that compare? Well, performance-wise, you're going to be looking pretty similar, pretty comparable. This guy will have better blind spot filtering, and that's the main benefit that you're going to be getting, is similar performance, better blind spot filtering. The blind spot filtering is kind of one of the areas that the M3s are sort of lacking in at this point. The STIR Plus and the 9500 Ci, great performance for sure, but their blind spot filtering, not so great. So if you want kind of that high-end detection performance and you want better blind spot filtering, for an extra $50 or an extra $100, this guy seems like it's going to be a better option. Now, things that are lacking, two things. Number one, it is not immune to radar detectors. The STIR Plus and the 9500 Ci, the M3s are built with some stealth technology to make them immune to detection from radar detectors. So those guys are going to be stealth. So if you live in an area where that's an issue, like Virginia or Washington, D.C., where detectors are illegal, if you live or drive in there, a stealth detector is very nice. Additionally, if you ever drive up in Canada, there's only 3 provinces where the detectors are actually legal. British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan. In those 3 provinces, detectors are legal. In all of the other provinces, they are illegal. So in that situation, it's nice to have a detector that's immune from detection by radar detectors. So Redenso, for that reason, is going to be coming out with a stealth version of the HD Plus, which will be immune to detection by radar detector detectors, such as the VG2 and all the different Spectres, right? That is under development. It's going to cost an extra $220 on top of the price of this guy. So $500 for the antenna. If you want the stealth version, that'll be, what, $720 for the stealth version of this. So you will get a little bit of a price bump for it. They're basically selling it at cost. They're not upselling the price of the stealth stuff to make it available to us. So an extra $220 to get a stealth version of the HD Plus. That'll be a good idea, again, for people who would like that feature. Otherwise, this guy is detectable by radar detector detectors, so something to be aware of there. As far as the time frame when that'll be released, I don't know. That's coming, again, sometime in the future. It hasn't even been built yet. It's still kind of under development and one of those things that they're developing. So just to give you a heads up about something that's coming on down the line, they're going to be coming out with a stealth version of this guy for an extra $220. So cool. How would that compare, let's say, a single antenna HD Plus to a STIR Plus? Let's do that comparison, a stealth version of this. So we've got $899 for the new control module and a single antenna version of the HD Plus, right? So $899, that'll give you GPS lockouts, which are manual, whereas the STIR Plus, they're automatic. Both of them have red light cameras, that kind of stuff, good performance. This guy has better blind spot filtering. Cool. So let's call it $900 for this guy. $1,300 is the retail price for the Plus. What if we want to do a stealth version of this? Well, this stealth will be $1,120. Again, an extra $220 on top of $900, right? So $1,120 for the stealth version, the most direct competitor to the STIR Plus. $1,120, whereas the STIR Plus standalone is going to be $1,300. So it's a savings of $180 for similar, if not maybe a little bit better performance. Again, we'll see based on testing. So let's call it performance for now, pretty comparable. Better blind spot filtering with this guy. The STIR Plus will have automatic GPS lockouts, whereas this guy will have manual GPS lockouts, and both of them will be stealth and immune from detection by radar detector detectors, right? So you're saving $180, better blind spot filtering, similar performance, and manual lockouts instead of automatic. So that, I think, is going to be a pretty compelling option. You can also, again, do two antennas. I'm not going to do the math on top of my head. I'll just put the number of whatever the price is for two stealth antennas, front and rear. Whatever the price of that is, it's another $400 plus $220, so $620 on top of $1,120. What is that, $1,740, I think it is. I hope that's right. I'll just check the number there. That'll say what the number actually is. So I think $1,740-ish compared to $1,300. So more expensive to have a dual antenna version, but that's pretty cool. Stinger VIP, you're looking at, what, close to $4,000, somewhere in that range to get dual antennas. Here you're getting it for less than $2,000. So again, that's a pretty compelling option as well. So for that reason, I think this guy is going to be a pretty interesting option. As you can see, there's a couple different ways of doing it. We can run it standalone by itself with the 975. We can run it plugged into our ALP. You can run it standalone with the new Redenso module. You can do single, double antennas. You can do stealth if you want, all that kind of stuff. So I know it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of different combinations. So what I'm also going to do is I'll kind of break everything down on my website, and I'll put a link to my website down in the video description, or you can click the link right there on the top of the screen, and that'll give you kind of the breakdown of all these different combinations, so you can read over them rather than having to go back and review the video and all that kind of stuff. So link in the video description to there, and I'll also put this breakdown down in the video description so you can see it there as well. So awesome. I hope that's been helpful. If you guys have any questions, you can ask down in the comment area below, or maybe even better yet, hop onto RDF. There's a couple different threads where people are talking about the HD Plus. They're sharing their own experiences, pros and cons, comparisons with other detectors, all that kind of stuff. So I'll put links down in the video description to where you can read more about it. Chances are, if you guys have any questions, other people have probably already asked something similar, so you can read about that as well. So links to other discussions will also be down in the video description. So just look down there, you'll find a bunch of useful information. So if you found this stuff helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Always helpful. Thank you. Subscribe for more information, including test results as they're going to be coming out over the next couple weeks, etc. So awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.